Alright class, so the goal of the lab this week is to experimentally determine the empirical formula of magnesium oxide. So we're going to take these little magnesium strips, we're going to do some chemical reaction with them, and then we're going to be able to determine that. The things to notice here is we've got this pair of tongs, and we've got this crucible at the top here, and we're going to be using these tongs to move the crucible around. So here you can see I'm putting the crucible onto this wire mesh, and this wire mesh, this is how we're going to move the crucible around as we go through the lab this week. The other thing that we're seeing here is a Bunsen burner. So to start your Bunsen burner up, we're going to turn the gas on. Go ahead and light that on fire. And then we can adjust the flame by turning these two different little things. So the first one that you're seeing me turn here, this is going to adjust the amount of oxygen that the flame is getting. And then this bottom knob, this is going to adjust how much gas is going into the Bunsen burner. So what we're looking for is a nice tight flame, and the hottest part of the flame is actually the very top where it makes a point. Once we have our Bunsen burner going, then we're going to start heating up our crucible. So in the procedure, the first step is to heat up the bottom of the crucible until it is red hot. This is just to clean the crucible and burn off any residue that we might see. So here it's red hot. It's about 3 or 4 minutes of heating, and I can go ahead and turn the gas off. Once I've turned the gas off, I'm going to use my tongs. So remember that you're going to be using your tongs all day today to move your crucible around. There's sort of two reasons for this. Number one, your crucible is going to be super hot and you do not want to burn yourself. But also, we don't want to have any fingerprints on the crucible. We want to keep our crucible as clean as possible. So even now, when I'm weighing the crucible, I'm going to be using the tongs. So never touch the crucible at all today, and just move it around with the tongs and the wire mesh. Now that I have the mass of my empty crucible, I'm going to add this piece of magnesium. So I'm going to curl up this piece of magnesium so that it fits nicely inside of my crucible, drop that inside of my crucible, and then go ahead and take the weight of the crucible plus the lid plus the piece of magnesium. And of course, as we move this around, we're going to be using this mesh tray to move everything around. So now I'm ready to heat my magnesium strip inside of the crucible, and the instructions say let the lid be slightly ajar, so that's what this looks like. We can go ahead and light our Bunsen burner and then start heating the bottom of our crucible again. So again, we're going to try to heat this to a red hot temperature. You might want to hold on to the Bunsen burner to do the heating. This will give you a little bit more control, or you can just sort of let it sit like we did before. Either way is really fine. What we're looking to avoid, though, is really lighting the piece of magnesium on fire so that it's burning really brightly or giving off smoke. So if at any point you see smoke or really bright light, then that means you have heated too much and you want to just go ahead and remove the Bunsen burner right away if you see that. We don't necessarily want it to be red hot, but we do want to see our piece of magnesium glowing. So here we can see that our magnesium is giving off some smoke. That is not what we want, so we want to remove the heat immediately if we see that. And now if I open this up again, it's going to put more oxygen in, and it's going to, again, glow brightly. So that is not what we want to see. We do not want to see that bright glowing. What we do want to see, though, is just a little bit glowing like we're seeing here. That's good. It's not super bright, and there's no smoke being given off, so that's sort of what we're looking for as we heat our piece of magnesium. Once it's calmed down, we can continue heating until we're not seeing any glowing, we're not seeing any sort of metallic looking metal. And this is what mine looked like after the heating process. So now I'm just going to let this sit, and again, only using the tongs, and let it cool down. And this cooling process is going to take a good 5 to 10 minutes. So, don't be in a rush. If you are waiting around, you could also get your deionized water. So we're going to add a few drops. I think I ended up adding like 6 or 8 drops of water. You can do this by using this little disposable pipette, or you can use the wash bottle. Either way, just get a few drops of deionized water in there. Like I said, I think 6 to 8 drops of deionized water is probably sufficient. Then we're going to put that back onto our ring stand, let the lid be slightly ajar, light our Bunsen burner, and then heat the crap out of this one more time. And this time you can really just go for it. We're just trying to drive off that water. We're going to let it cool down again, and then, of course, even though it's cool, we still want to be using our tongs to move our crucible, so then once it's cool, to weigh it one more time and get that final mass of our product. for the waste, we can put our magnesium waste into this special beaker that says magnesium oxide waste. And that's it.